The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clark.
Good morning. I'm Nico Haan, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced and natural wild world.
That's right, Nico, to recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. Good morning. I'm Paige Clark.
And it's a beautiful day in downtown St. Petersburg, 66 degrees, and we're going to have a cold front tomorrow again, so feels
One more
nice.
time to pull out our
I think
sweaters.
it's going to be a few more times myself, but it's okay. I want people to be reminded of the Primal Edge, our one-shot wonder. Really important now that, and we're going to be talking about the coronavirus. Fulvic and humic acid are a big player in this. They take glyphosate out. They also really help you get healthy.
They neutralize viruses and really kind of help us to stay healthy. Help us get the good stuff in.
Yeah, and the bad stuff out. And of course, our Health Signals newsletter, and this one is packed full of news about the coronavirus, which we're going to start talking about it. But it's only $10 a month, $5 an issue, and it follows the show. So if you've been following the show, you can dig into those articles yourself and make up your own mind on these things. So that's, I think, important.
And if you're up and at it, give us a call and be part of the show. 1-877-927-6648.
Yeah.
Hey, Nico.
Hey, yeah, I'm glad you're back, and I'm back. Last week, unfortunately, I was watching a hockey game. What I did, I went to bed real early, like 8 o'clock, and then at midnight, I got up to watch the hockey game. Exciting game. We won. I couldn't get back to sleep.
Yeah, so...
At 5 o'clock, the thing rings. I'm still awake, and I said, okay.
And you were too wired. Yeah,
I'm too wired.
Sleep comes first.
Yeah, when hockey comes first, too, sometimes, I guess, being a Canadian. So I apologize for that, but we're here now. I do want to talk about the coronavirus.
Yes.
Right now, we have 80,000 cases, but, a lot of people are speculating that this could be doubled at least, maybe even 10 times the number. Who knows? Because out of China, we're not getting a lot of news. We're also not getting a lot of news out of other countries like Iran, things like that. But what disturbed me the most, I think, was the outbreak in Italy. And what it's doing now, it seems to be kind of leapfrogging. So there's different areas in different countries now being affected where supposedly nobody that had the virus before was. So I think we really have to watch out for this.
Maintain your terrain, people.
Yeah.
Maintain your terrain.
Yeah.
Viruses
There's a lot of statistics here. One of the hints,
terrain.
I think, the FBI ordered 40,000 hand sanitizer and face mask. I ordered some face masks back in January, still haven't got them. I finally got a refund on them. They can't seem to find any anywhere. So if you can find some, maybe Home Depot, I would highly recommend you start paying attention to this stuff. It's jumping around. It hasn't really landed here yet. But when it does land here, I think it's going to be a big problem. And just think about it. China, people have 6 weeks now under wraps, pretty much. And if you listen to some of the podcasts on not Facebook, but YouTube,
Right.
a lot of the doctors and some people are getting videos from people inside there. And I heard an interview between a reporter and somebody who was burning the cremation furnaces in some of the funeral. And she was just screaming, saying, these people don't know what they're doing. We're just so overloaded. We can only fit so many people in here. We can only burn so many bodies a day. We have all the furnaces going. He says we have like 50 furnaces, and 9 of them are down, and we're just going 24 hours a day. So if they're going 24 hours a day, it takes a couple of hours to get rid of a body like that. This is, it's a big deal. So I would pay attention to it. I would go to some of those doctors on YouTube and follow them. They have some real statistics. I wouldn't listen to the mainstream media right now because they're playing everything but that.
Well, they're actually, I disagree. I think the mainstream media is really, big part of creating the fear, and the fear
disrupts the immune system.
Yeah.
It's really kind of part of the plan
Well,
because
when I listen to Fox and TC, they don't mention much. They have a little blurb on it and go right back to politics again. It's just disgusting.
well, it seems like the politics is another disruptor.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And I was mentioning to you, the Bernie's getting the big hate from both sides. And that's the time, I think, when you start paying attention to people, because this is kind of what happened when Trump came in. Half the Republicans hated him. All the Democrats hated him. When he became the front runner and finally he was vetted into the position, the Republicans loved him. Now, I don't know if this would
I
happen
think
with
there's
Bernie.
still a lot of rhinos.
Maybe a few, but it seems like they're on the bandwagon, at least the ones that are making decisions. So let's watch out for this. I got a few charts here, and you can look at these. These are going to be in the next Health Signals newsletter, but cases caught outside of, if you look at these slides that go up, all these things are talking about the virus just exploding. If you're in the stock market and your stock is doing this, you love this. So if this is happening to a virus, and these are all different, some things outside of time to doubling is still going on. There's a little break here and a little break there.
Right.
But this is called doubling. That's a huge thing. So you got to pay attention to this. Winter is now coming to the south of. So I think Australia has to really be careful.
I was at dinner the other night, and a doctor was sitting next to us, and he is actually planning a trip to Singapore and everything. And he made the comment, well, I'll be going in June or July, and he said, I'll be fine. The virus is burned out in the summer, but he's going over there.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that.
Well,
I'm not sure
China
about-
is still
weather.
in the summer or in the winter now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But in general speaking, let's hope that warmer weather is on its way, and this will be a
And it helps
benefit
it.
to us.
Yeah.
In terms
I
of
say
viral
watch out for
spread.
next winter. That's the thing. One of the things I would recommend not doing is getting into crowded buses, into subways, into Ubers. Don't go on a boat. And try not to go on a plane, especially outside of the United States. Maybe inside the United States might be okay right now, but maybe in a few months it won't be. I don't know. But, you
Well,
have to
I
make
think
up
if
your
you're
own
going to
mind.
be in that kind of an environment, doing some immune fortification, taking things like the Primal Edge, and we've talked a lot about why that helps the immune system.
Yeah.
But there's other herbal tonics that we've shared with you, elderberry, echinacea. They help you fortify your body against viruses. Essential oils are very powerful and
Yeah, so this
neutering
is
virus.
the real time to get your health together right now. If you're smoking, stop smoking. If you're, just eating fast food, switch. Start learning how to cook. It's a very important thing. You want people to be healthy. You want yourself to be healthy.
Right.
And that's the name of the game. So I think one of the things is the Primal Edge, for sure. With the fulvic and humic acid, which brings the good stuff, takes the bad stuff out. Viruses cling to
Let's
these
explain
things.
to that real quickly because we only have a short time. See, what happens is fulvic and humic is attracted to positively charged ions. Viruses and bacteria and so forth, they're positively charged. It gives a negative charge. So it helps the cells stay healthy with antioxidants, negatively charged, and helps attract and bind and remove the positively charged. So in that way, it can really help you against these kind of
Already
threats.
proven to take out the glyphosate, which is probably the biggest insult we have going right now.
That's right.
So we'll be right back, and we'll be talking about the Mediterranean diet when we get back. So stick around, folks. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. Today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And welcome back to the show. So we're going to talk about the Mediterranean diet, which was really voted by a panel of 25 health and nutrition professionals as the best diet for 2020. And it's characterized by plant-based meals. The diet emphasizes...
Hear the word, plant-based?
Yeah, emphasizes eating less red meat and dairy and more fish and unsaturated fat, like olive oil, and red wine can be enjoyed. So if you're familiar with this diet, you kind of know what it is. But what they're saying about this is the problem with the diet is that it involves a set of skills. Knowledge, rituals, symbolism, traditions concerning crops and harvesting fish, how to manage the animals, things like that. This is exactly what we've been talking about for years. If you're going to have some of these traditional foods that we grew up with, and these I call the foods that changed our lives, because during hard times there were no animal food. You go hunting, you come back empty, and you start using these other products. At first maybe the vegetables, the leaves, the roots, and you learn how to use them without them hurting you.
Yeah, by cooking them.
By cooking, cooking them, or maybe taking really tiny amounts like herbs, which are really healthy in small amounts, but you take them in large amounts, they're not. I mean, you can't go eating turmeric or pepper and stuff like that. You can use them in a moderate way. So what they're really talking about here, and this Mediterranean diet covers part of Europe and part of Asia and Africa. This is all around the Mediterranean Sea. And many of these are like Greece and Morocco and Portugal and Spain. We don't think about this as Mediterranean diet, but it is.
Yeah, they've had a deep history, but different ingredients arrived at different times. Let's take, for example, olives were first pressed for olive oil sometime before 2,500 years ago. Grapes were likely first enjoyed as a wild harvest, but by 6,000 years ago, full wine production was underway. Yeah, now domesticated grains and legumes and wheat, like lentils and things like that, began around 9,000 or 10,000 years ago. Now, these numbers... What happened 9,000 or 10,000 years ago? Exactly, the Younger Dryas. Yes. This is when we had maybe a small nova to the Earth. We had meteors coming in. It got cold really fast. When it gets real cold really fast, you can't find the animals. They die, too. Many humans probably died. So the ones that survived
survived figured out how to use these legumes and things. They didn't have really beans over there as much. That usually came from the New World.
And you talk about 10,000 years ago, we also know, interestingly, that when they exhumed the graves of people that were 10,000 years ago, the Egyptians, who had a diet of grains, heart disease.
Right.
More of the primal meat-eater, hunter-gatherer man.
Didn't have that.
No heart disease.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So in spite of the diet's guidelines, various red meats and dairy products are also enjoy a long history in this region. Domesticated herd animals such as sheep and goats and cattle and camels arrived around at least 10,000 years ago. And again, that number keeps ringing. So we're going to find out that the food really changed at that time because we had to have these things. And it's really important to know the ingenious level of thinking of human beings. They figure things out. The bad thing that is happening now, I mean, we have been using these foods for thousands of years, so, you know, our health has declined even starting then. We know this.
Yeah, this author kind of contradicts themselves. They talked about avoiding red meat and dairy, but then they say, the prominence of red meat and dairy foods in daily meals may have varied regionally, but both are deeply rooted in the Mediterranean diet.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to saying that all of these areas that are now considered Mediterranean diet do eat meat.
Yes. And if you look at that, and that's a real important point, Paige, because when you look at the areas that are not eating as much meat, they're desert.
Yeah.
Those are communities that don't have it anymore. And now, if you're stuck in a country that has a desert, you can't go to the forest because the forest is in another country.
Yeah,
we used to follow this. We used to go to the forest. Hey, the forest's not here. We're going to go over here. We used to move our house and everything.
Animals.
Yeah,
Right.
we followed the animals. We followed the vegetation too because the animals ate the vegetation.
And then we ate the animals.
That's right.
Hey, what's wrong with the Mediterranean diet? Let's talk about it. We are anthropologists who study biological and cultural aspects of nutrition and past foodways as part of human gastro-heritage. I like that.
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
And we simultaneously excited and concerned about Mediterranean diet and public health messaging.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Health professionals should focus on food traditions rather than just the nutrients, and it worries us when one cultural food tradition is held up superior to others. So now they're knocking it a little bit.
Yeah, so this historian, Harvey Levenstein, writes that the Mediterranean diet was created by physiologist Ansel Keys, the godfather of cholesterol is bad for you, and his biochemist wife, Margaret Keys. In 1952, the Keys traveled to Italy and Spain and conducted some quasi-experimental surveys of blood pressure, cholesterol, and diet. And many epidemiological studies later, the couple promoted the Mediterranean diet, know that his studies were based on flawed science about cholesterol, and their popular diet on how to eat well later repackages How to Eat Well and Stay Well the Mediterranean way. And in the 1990s, the International Olive Oil Council promoted olive oil as a key ingredient in the diet. And the Harvard School of Public Health followed the Mediterranean diet pyramid.
So now there's a lot of people who do really well on olive oil and a lot of people who don't do really well on olive oil.
I'm going to preface this. Exactly. Especially gallbladder and liver health. And we know
And
that
I'm
that's-
talking about really good olive oil now.
Oh, yeah, we're not talking about fake stuff.
Right. And also with milk. You know,
But
we have
I want to go back to olive oil before you switch.
Yeah.
Olive oil is a monosaturated fat. It's still on the PUFA side. To me, it's PUFA and non-PUFA. Non-PUFA is saturated fat. It's what comes packaged with the animals. It's lard, real lard from animals. It's coconut oil. It's saturated. All the seats are filled. This is the healthier fats. Unsaturated, which we are being told and sold are the healthy fats, are not the healthy fats for the human diet.
Right. So
They're
if you look at
processed
what
and
people
they
are
become
doing,
rancid.
yeah, and if you're talking about populations like in Italy, they're using a lot of olive oil. They also eat a lot of meat. They eat, in fact, a lot of cured meat, things like that.
Exactly.
And so they're supplementing their oils with the natural
But I will
oils
say
too.
that I do think that the monosaturated fats do have some health benefits in moderation. What bothers me is a lot of people, even people that are quote-unquote of Italian heritage, will take, let's say, for example, what's your vision of an Italian household? Mama sauteing garlic and olive oil.
Right.
No.
Lard usually, probably.
You do not heat olive oil to where it's bubbling.
Right.
You do lard, and then you take it off the heat,
And
then you can add the olive oil.
Right, exactly right. And that's the traditional way. And
Yes.
Our ancestors knew this. But, you know, when you promote a diet and you're putting things in there, you're not really explaining a lot of things. Some people do, some people don't. That's how it gets bastardized. The milk is the same thing. We have populations that do really well with milk.
Those of us that are from Northern Europe, like you and I.
Right. People even in Africa don't do really well unless you mix it with something like blood, which helps, you know.
Like the Maasai people,
Like
or
the
some
Maasai
of the
people,
healthiest
yeah.
people on the planet mix milk and blood.
Right.
But most likely the milk that they're drinking is of the A2 species.
Yeah.
And those of you may see that. I suggest if you're going to drink milk, that you buy the A2 milk at your grocery store.
It's available now in quite a few
most
places.
It's a breed that we can digest.
Yeah.
All right, we got to go for a break. We'll be back in a minute.
Stick around, folks.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome up. We've got some great chats in the chat room, kind of talking about the Mediterranean diet or the made-up diet, which someone made. Actually, Bodie said that Nina Teicholz, I met her, she's brilliant, says the Mediterranean diet is a made-up diet. And that's exactly what we were reading. The promotion of the Mediterranean diet is an example of what anthropologist Andrea Wiley calls bioethnocentrism. In other words, let's say this one thing is the best thing. the Ansel key, it was all part of a marketing plan to promote that cholesterol is bad for you, which it is not, so that they could sell drugs, really, when it comes down to
And
it.
Tucker has a nice thing that he changed his life through the different eating. He started breakfast like a king, and he
Lunch
goes to
like a knight and dinner like a pauper.
Yeah, and he is going to gym five times a week, just short of 14 months later. I'm 22 pounds lighter off prescription meds except for one. So this is all good. Cholesterol's dropped, and this is all good stuff. And the thing that we want to explain here
Congratulations, Tucker.
is that we really value the old traditions of the food that, like in Holland, that I ate, and in Austria, where you go, and you know what?
My heritage is Northern European, so there was dairy, and there was grains, and there was meat, and butter, and
So
cheese.
they're going to be much easier. I still say that lean more towards the animal foods, and you're better off. But if you're going to substitute, you're on a low-income diet type of thing, you're going to have to incorporate these things. Although, if the weather changes, then, you know, everything is going to go. I mean, you know, if this virus, these countries get locked down, just imagine being locked into a city, into your house for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Do you have food at home? Do you have sanitation
You're going to be able
at
to
home?
get down to the juice bar?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're going to change your life right there.
You know, I have to tell you, just talking about eating, you know, with all this jaw rehabilitation, I'm doing all this apparatus in my mouth. One of the big things I've got is I have bite blocks on the back of my teeth, which kind of holds my mouth at a little height. So I don't have the grooves connecting. I basically have this sliding. Makes it very hard for me
to chew the food.
I actually do better with meat, believe it or not, but I'm turned off by lettuce.
Meat breaks down pretty easy.
Yeah,
it doesn't have the fiber.
The raw vegetables are really hard, and I've hardly eaten any in the last 6 months. I mostly am eating cooked vegetables, cabbage, and boy, have I made some great, you know, kind of traditional recipes with cooked vegetables. But you know, I'm eating my animal foods, and I feel great. And I've lost 22 pounds.
Yeah. It's awesome.
You know, eating more carnivorous, I believe. You know.
I think there's a natural
basic.
tendency. You know, it's a little more expensive in the beginning, but then you start eating less, and I think it evens out.
Yeah.
But food, I have noticed, it's definitely getting costlier to go to the supermarket.
It is.
And we've got one of the chains here, Earth Fare, which I really went to a lot, is gone. So now I have to go to Nature's Food Patch, and of course, the Google or the Amazon place. So, you know, and they have good stuff. There's no doubt about it, but it is pricey. But the good thing is you can get a discount.
Well, yeah, I told you my daughter, I hate to say it, but my daughter called Earth Fare Earth Foul. We had quite a few examples of where we'd pick up their food, and I don't mean anything against them because they were right in my back gate, and I loved going there, but when it came to the fresh food, it seemed like they really pushed the envelope. But anyways, you know, in a globalized world with us all moving around and everything, traditional cuisines have seemed to become meaningless. And this is where you and I are saying we really do need to pay attention to seasonality and traditions. And you know, that's where you put the best of epigenetics and genetics. And in reality, it's highly unlikely that, you know, someone that's from the jungle is going to do well on a real heavy Northern European diet, and vice versa.
That's right. Even I would, if I go up to Northern Canada and eat the Inuit way, it probably wouldn't be that great for me. Lots more fat than I eat, and I eat a lot of fat.
Yeah.
And if I go into Brazil, well, maybe Brazil would be all right because they really went into the meat thing. But if I go into another place where they're eating much more vegetables, it'd be a big adjustment for me. I can do it because I know the traditions that help me break down those things by souring them. In Holland, I mean, sauerkraut and sausage. This is, you know, we did so many things to our vegetables, and these became our staples, and we weren't rich, so we used a lot of those things. We didn't eat a lot of meat in the beginning, but meat was always on the table.
Yeah, so in summary, in a world where we are rapidly losing diverse biological and cultural heritage, we should celebrate the plurality and unique qualities of traditional food rather than attempting to promote and universalize one regional diet over another. Diverse traditional diets can and should be promoted through public health and not shamed into thinking one is better than the other. Some more comments over here. Let's see here. Judette says, bread and olive oil, nothing better, great hair. Well, you know, those healthy fats in moderation and prepared correctly are good. You don't want to boil that olive oil. a big dinner means a big belly to that, in my experience.
Well, here's an example. In Mexico, the combination of corn, tortillas, and beans, accompanied with foods like squash and salsa, are complete plant-based proteins. They provide a nutritious...
Oh, they had to get in that positive, how
Yeah,
to
and
do
it is. I mean, when you take beans and rice, and beans and wheat and things like that, they do become a good protein if you eat it and cook it properly.
A sufficient protein, we might say.
Yeah, sufficient protein. So, what's really happened to the Mexican people is not so much that they eat these things. They eat these things and then they have Coca-Cola.
Well, they have little Twinkies.
That too, yeah, but it's just an example.
And Coca-Cola is not the I'm going to tell you, I've studied Ray Pete. Real Mexican Coke can be a healthy part of your diet because of the CO2 and the real sugar. Not 20 of them,
exactly.
but an occasional one. So let's don't say the Coca-Cola. It's when we started giving the Mexican people or the people in the Indian reservation our processed packaged frankenfoods that are made with hydrolyzed wheat, grains, bad oils, high fructose corn syrup, sugars, and that kind of thing. Yeah.
So research on soy-derived and fermented foods found in traditional Chinese cuisines and probably also Japanese show they are high in bioactive peptides that can provide protection against disease.
Literally they use fermented soy to fight breast cancer. Let's make this very, very clear. We do not eat fermented soy traditionally around here. So what happened is they take a healthy food that's being implemented and prepared correctly in Japan, China, and Asian countries, contributing to their excellent health. And then they come over and say, hey, everyone, eat edamame, eat soy product, have a soy burger at school. This is not fermented soy. These are where soy is not a toy for the girl or the boy. They're estrogenic. We can't digest them, and your traditional people in these Asian countries would never eat soy the way it's being offered here.
There's a difference between a loving grandmother fixing some tortillas the old traditional way or going to Taco Bell. There's not the same thing. These food companies have bastardized the traditional foods, brought them to you in nice packages and say, here, this is healthy, and it's not.
But what I'm trying to tell you is, like people go to a sushi restaurant, they order edamame, the little soybeans. Yeah. An Asian person would never dream of sitting there and eating those. They know they're not prepared. They know they have enzyme inhibitors that mess with your digestion and give you
So the thing to do is look at your heritage, look at what people did, where you came from.
Get old cookbooks, guys. Go to thrift stores and find great-grandma cookbooks. Yeah. Find out how they used to prepare real food.
And during the break, I'd like you to please take a look at our Primal Edge and order that because the fulvic and humic acid are the preferred delivery system for all these essential
vitamins, amino acids, everything.
So pick that up, pick up the, well, we're on a break, so see ya. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metal sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, JDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And welcome back to the show. There's an article here, and this was brought into foodsafetynews.com, and it's called Safety Aspects of Indoor Farming Signal a Change in Agriculture. And I flagged this because, of course, knowing that the Grand Solar Minimum is just around the corner, maybe 10 years, we're going to have to switch our way of doing business as far as the fruits, vegetables, things like that. And it's hard to move wheat fields and cornfields. So if you put them inside, that makes sense. You still got your land.
So you see all these big warehouse buildings that are coming up?
So the upside is, of course, you're building these structures, and they cost money, but then you're not using all that big farming equipment, it seems like. They're more like gardening in these places, even though they may be large places, but you can see a couple of the pictures.
Well, it's definitely an increasing trend in farming, but not surprisingly, it's been one of the driving forces pushing this, repeated recalls of, say, the romaine lettuce that had the E. coli infection, presumably because we were growing food next to a confined animal feeding operation, or a CAFO.
That doesn't even have to be that close. I think even a couple of miles away, because when you're talking about these big field lots, when that stuff dries up, it just goes into the wind, and the wind carries it to wherever you're growing your tomatoes or whatever.
Just to clarify, we're not saying that animal husbandry, where you're having healthy animals on a farm where they're rotating, that's bad for growing fruits and vegetables. It's when we have them in these industrialized, cruel, confined animal feeding operations where they're standing in muck up to their knees, and it's not being properly drained.
In fact, I would say that a real great small farm that's tending to their flock the right way may be as good as the wild. It may be better because they know what they're feeding. And in the wild, you have to go searching for the good stuff, and there's going to be good times and bad times out there.
Yeah.
Where in husbandry, at least we know that you have the ability to feed that animal the right things. And that's really important.
Exactly, yeah.
So these things are going to become more and more, and it's really
Well, the CDC is giving it a thumbs up.
Who is?
The CDC.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's too bad.
Well, no, they're giving the greenhouse growing a thumbs up, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Hydroponically has been around for a long time, especially in the weed culture. A lot of the marijuana things are growing. And I found an interesting thing that the people who are growing marijuana are also in cahoots now with the alcohol because they're switching back and forth to CO2.
Right. Well,
pretty interesting thing.
Yeah, we saw that article, but that's the whole point. We need CO2.
Yeah.
We breathe
and the
CO2.
plants, and plants do too.
Actually, the whole climate change, if you if you activate this, you can't accept it, you know. And I really hope you put that video. I gave Nico a video that explains by the Dr. Shiva, the MIT professor that invented the internet. He has a few brain cells connecting. He explains who really benefits from the Paris Accord stuff and why we really don't want to be involved in that. And if you watch that, you'll have no question. But my point is, you know, we really have to think about the way we're growing our food. And
also the way we're treating the animals.
And the way we're treating the animals.
And of course, you know, when we're demonizing vegetables or demonizing animals, this does nobody any good. We need to explain where the food comes from, how it's being taken care of, and that's the most important thing. And I always say that the most freedom we have is to grow our own food. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not really happening. Although there are some governors in New York and in New Jersey and now in Florida, our governor said it's okay to have a garden in the front yard. So maybe these people do know that hard times might be coming because we're going to need these gardens.
Well, we need to know how to do it. But getting back to that CO2 thing, I kind of lost my train of thought. That is exactly what we do. You know, we breathe out CO2, and the plants actually create the oxygen for us.
Sure.
So,
but we need the CO2 too. I mean, look at the Wim Hof breathing method. This pumps the
CO2. We need to retain it. Yeah,
yes, exactly. And we do when we breathe in. It's not just oxygen. There's a small amount of oxygen. A lot of CO2 is in the air we breathe. We really do need that. And remember, sitting around the campfire, the old traditional smoking, the peace pipe, this is activating CO2 inside you. So these old traditions do have uses. I wouldn't recommend somebody going smoking, but having a cigar now and then, once a month or something like that, or sitting around a campfire and inhaling that stuff is not going to be bad for you.
Right.
That's the whole thing. So the world is a little upside down.
It is. It's a little skewed.
This article is really talking about, because of the problems we've had with the outdoor growing, because of the salmonella and the E. coli, the bad practices that they have. Now, when we go inside,
we can control it, and there are some benefits.
There are some benefits, but of course, if you have bad handling inside,
you could have the same problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But so hopefully, we'll, you know, hopefully. The whole the gist of this is there is an attempt to improve sanitation in growing these animals. But, you know, again, is it creating a sterile environment? You know, it makes comments like, it's a controlled environment. The farmers don't have to deal with wildlife, domestic animals and birds flying overhead. Well, isn't that nature?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, are we trying to do we think we do things better than nature?
Well, is there such a thing as too clean, perhaps?
Exactly.
Because we do need, just like the oxygen and the CO2, maybe we need a couple of bird droppings going.
Like the bees pollinate the flowers so that the plants are healthy.
Yeah, so that they have bees in here? I don't think so.
You know, I mean, that's the question. Are they putting all the right, you know, nuts and bolts in the soup is what I'm saying.
Controlled environment agriculture, another way to describe greenhouse cultivation when done according to certain standards, is helping grow the local food market. And they say it could reach 20 billion sales by 2019. This was written about a few years ago, but I thought it was important because this is the growing trend, and I don't see it as a bad trend. I think this is probably necessary. And also,
yeah, let's look at this as an example. In the winter, more than 90% of the lettuce and greens in the United States are grown in the Yuma, Arizona, and Salinas, California growing regions. Salinas is often referred to as America's salad bowl. And Yuma, the lettuce capital of the world, Yuma is now home to 9 factories that produce bagged lettuce and salad mixes. Each of these plants process more than 2 million pounds of lettuce per day. And the peak months, it's a long way from Yuma to Cleveland. And he points out that the difference in distance between the two is part of why the lettuces and greens don't arrive in stores and restaurants as fresh as they do when they arrive in establishments that are near his greenhouse.
Well, there's another thing, too. We in America like our lettuce already cleaned and broken down for us, and that's not the way to do it. I think that's where you can cause more problems. Get the whole lettuce, clean it yourself.
And maybe a little dirt gets left on it because it comes from your garden and the soil-based organisms get into your gut.
And the fulvic and humic acid right there, for sure.
There you go.
Yeah, so it talks about food safety and hydroponics. It's a great article. You should read it when I drop it into the letter. But But there's another challenge beyond irrigation is washing the field-grown produce after it's harvested. This step is used when using clean water is critical, and water is another problem, of course.
Right. Yeah.
Now,
so there's pros and cons to both things, it looks like, Nico.
Yeah,
and
I think so.
We're going to go on a break.
And I think that the biggest freedom we can have is to get our own food.
Bodie knows who Wim Hof is. 26 world record here. It's pretty amazing.
We'll be right back,
You know,
folks.
Stephen that's on the show studied with him.
We'll be right back.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
TFNN has developed a daily programming lineup for traders by traders. We start every trading day live at 8:30 a.m. with Tommy O'Brien hosting the morning market kickoff as he starts the day off by breaking down everything you need to know about what's going on for the trading day ahead. At 9 a.m., Larry Pesavento takes your calls and questions live on the air for the opening bell as he hosts Trade What You See. At 10 a.m., Tom and Tommy O'Brien host the Bull Bear Trading Hour. At 11 a.m., it's Kevin Hinks and Alex Coffey from TD Ameritrade Network with Fast Market. Basil Chapman at noon with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Steve Rhodes hosts the Trader's Edge at 1 p.m. Dave White with the Power Trading Hour at 2 p.m. And Tom O'Brien closes out the day for the final hour of trading live from 3 till 4. Don't miss a second of our daily programming lineup. Tune in to Tiger TV every trading day live at TFNN.com. Educating investors.
And welcome back. And this is a
New topic?
Yeah, a new topic for sure. What happens when you die? Compost your departed loved one and save the planet. I don't know if it'll save the planet, but it's an interesting idea. Of course, I'm always into cremation. That's what our family always did, and it just makes the most sense. I don't want to go visiting graves. I don't want to be put in the ground and with a bunch of drugs, that's for sure. So this one, this is a Washington law that goes in effect on May 1st with a Seattle business called Recompose, preparing an open funeral home that's services in early 2021 it's going to start. And it places your body in a vessel with wood chips, alfalfa, and straw, allowing it to decompose microbes and reducing it to a nutrient-dense soil in about a month. The end result is about a cubic yard of soil per person. And then you can return it to the family and donate it to conservation, excuse me. Interesting idea. I kind of like this.
Yeah, they say supporters in practice say it's an end-of-life option that will have a positive impact on the environment. Alternatively, cremation is an energy-intense process that produces carbon dioxide emissions. Well, There we go again. While traditional burial uses chemicals to embalm bodies in a non-biodegradable coffin to store them. So it does make sense. Remember when we did the thing where we showed where the people are cremated, or not cremated, but they're planted with a tree?
Oh, no,
It's
I
a
don't
tree
remember
pod.
that. Yeah.
You put the remains
Yeah,
in a
and
tree pod.
this is the kind of the same thing. So you
Yeah.
you get it back to about a month later, and then you can put it in the garden and make a tree out of it or whatever. Put it in your garden, and you're eating your vegetables and your relatives, sort of like. So I think it's a cool idea, and you know, these things are good for the environment, no doubt about it. And you know, people can make money off it too, and that's not a bad thing. That's the end of the show, folks. I just wanted to. You know, get yourself ready for this virus, because I think the cases in the United States are probably closer to 2,000. I don't think anybody's reporting anything that's good. There's a couple of countries that may be doing that, and that may be South Korea. I would look at what South Korea is doing. They've got a great medical system. Everybody is healthy in South Korea because everybody's on the same system.
Yep.
And they closed the borders, and they did a lot of good things, and that's what we need to do too.
Just take care of yourself, and we'll see you next show.
Yeah, we will be back. See you. Bye-bye. Thanks, folks.